In the last few episodes, we separated infrastructure from token demand. Just because the plumbing is real, that doesn't automatically mean the token has to reprice. The next question is the one everyone wants to ask. If some of that utility is real, could any of it show up in price? Today, we're not doing hype. We're doing the math behind the scenario models and where the assumptions enter. This is an educational model, not financial advice. Please do your own research and make your own decisions. Before we touch any numbers, here's the guardrail for the whole episode. This is a framework for thinking, not a prediction of where XRP will go. Nobody knows XRP's future price. What a model can do is make the logic visible, so you can see exactly which assumptions create each result. If you change the assumptions, the output changes too. That's the point of the exercise. The model really turns on three variables. First is market capture, meaning how much real payment or settlement activity you assume flows through the system. Second is held value. That's the amount of value the network would need sitting in the asset to support that activity without constant stress. Third is velocity, or how quickly each unit can be reused. Higher velocity means less value has to be parked in the asset at any one time. Put those together and the model becomes easier to read. You're not guessing magic numbers. You're testing a small set of explicit inputs. Now we need a supply anchor. XRP has a fixed maximum supply, but that isn't the most practical number for day-to-day valuation math. For this kind of framework, circulating supply is usually the better anchor because it's the amount the market is actually trading around. At publish time, that figure should be refreshed. Based on the user's note, it's currently in the low 60 billion range. So when we divide modeled value by supply, think circulating supply, updated before publish, not a frozen number pulled from memory. Let's start with a conservative hypothetical. Say XRP supports 1% of a $150 trillion cross-border market. That gives you a required activity bucket to model against. From there, you estimate how much value would need to be held to support that flow. If you do the rough raw division against circulating supply, the first number can look much higher than people expect. But then velocity matters. If units are reused efficiently, the implied modeled range can come down toward roughly $10 to $15. Again, that's not a target. It's a hypothetical model output based on conservative assumptions. Now move to a moderate hypothetical. Say market capture rises to 5% instead of 1%.
Then you can layer in possible additional demand from regulated products, liquidity needs, or ledger-based settlement activity.
Run the same rough raw division by circulating supply, and the implied value bucket rises with those stronger assumptions. Apply velocity again, and a hypothetical modeled range might land somewhere around $30 to $60. That still isn't a forecast. It's the math responding to a more aggressive input set. Scenario C is the high assumption case. Here, XRP is modeled as a major global settlement layer rather than a niche rail.
That creates a much larger required value bucket because you're assigning the asset a far bigger role in global financial flows.
If you stop at the raw division, the implied numbers can look extremely large. That's why this framework has to keep moving to the next variable. Once velocity is applied, the modeled range can compress into something like $80 to $150, even under a much bigger demand story. But mathematical possibility does not mean real-world likelihood. It only means the assumptions can produce that output on paper. Now for the caveats, because this is where responsible modeling matters most. Velocity is estimated, not known with certainty. The market size is also an input, not a promise. Circulating supply changes over time, which means the denominator can move too. Speculation can push price above or below any utility-based estimate for long stretches, especially in crypto markets. And if competition, regulation, or adoption trends break the assumptions, the model breaks with them. Change the inputs and every number changes. So that's the takeaway. These scenarios are frameworks for thinking through valuation, not forecasts, and definitely not reasons to buy anything. In the next episode, we'll look at how repricing might unfold over time if it ever happened at all. Thanks for watching Nova Talk. I'll see you in the next one.